Okay. So we are live. Um, don't breathe into your mic like that. That really hurts. Man, I must be really, really hot right now.
You have to be because, like,
There was just a big discrepancy between your volumes. So I think my system is trying to figure out the difference. But yeah, so I am. So as I go to dump links everywhere, hello everyone. First person just joined the stream, welcome. And hello to everyone who will be watching this on a VOD. You might notice that our cast is completely different this time. And this is the strength of the kind of game that we're playing. I have like 7 players, and 5 couldn't make it tonight. So we're running with the 2 that we have, and that's perfectly fine because I can scale adventures up and down. Also, if everyone showed up one night, we could do that too. And because it's module based, it doesn't hurt any one character other than they don't get experience that night to not be in the game. They just miss that adventure. And since a lot of the adventures are going to be fairly, like not every adventure is going to be groundbreaking and brand new. We'll put it that way. There's going to be a lot of like how Legend of Zelda Shrine quests kind of started to feel the same after you did about 80 of them. There'll be a little bit of that here too. But since we have a new player who hasn't played with us yet, Arcadia, go ahead and talk about yourself for a few minutes while I share the links around.
Myself?
And yourself, your character, your experiences in D&D, all of that.
I'm playing the character Arcadia, but my name is Rain. I'm just a very nerdy trans girl that is also in the military. I've been playing D&D since I was, I don't know, a kid. I don't even know what version I started on. I love fantasy games. I've played multiple different types and variations, but I always come back to D&D because it's where the heart is. I'll be playing a barbarian, a variant human barbarian.
Oh, that'll be cool.
So we are starting to see double on some classes because one of the players that hasn't been able to play yet, poor John, is just getting the shit kicked out of him in life right now and all that. But he actually rolled up a rogue too. So we actually have 2 rogues that are both going kind of that assassin route. And now we have 2 barbarians, but I think you guys are aiming your barbarians in different directions if I understood your conversation correctly.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm going hopefully the totem warrior route. I don't know where he's going. I've got a idea in my head that's been brewing for a few years for a character, and I think this is the perfect setting for it.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure he's big dumb barbarian that likes to carry my stuff.
Wow. The only thing that he told me was that he wants to be a pirate, and like that's all I got. So
yeah.
And his name's Pongo.
Yeah, Pongo. What is it? Pongo Perdita.
Perdita Pongo. Perdita Pongo Perdido.
Hang on, I just about have us shared around here. I just need to get this one last thing done. There we go. Share that to my page. And actually, we should be streaming in our Facebook group. If you aren't in our group, where is it? Groups. There we go. Go look for Drunken Dragons, and it's got our Freak Show Entertainment logo on it. Really easy to find. I will pull our player base from either the Facebook group or the Discord. The Discord is aptly named the Freak Show Discord server because I'm uninventive. Otherwise, let's roll into it. We're gonna start Arcadia. It's Arcadia, right? Like I'm pronouncing
Yes.
that correctly? Okay.
Yes.
So you are walking up the path, and the town that you're reaching is called Strelsgate, and it's somewhat famous in the region because 5 different roads intersect here. And there's a gate made out of granite that's obnoxious for having stood the test of time despite the cataclysm. But there's everything else around it. It looks like it belongs in the rest of the setting. There's not a lot of it's wood. It's a wooden wall, hovels. You've heard that there's a blacksmith here. But really, it's the gate, and then this place is also known for having the largest church in the region, and it is a temple of Tempest. And we are using Tempest as the god of war in this setting. So you arrive at the gate. It is not really even manned. There's like a person out there with a spear, but it's not even like a metal tipped spear. They just burnt the end of a sharpened stick.
Yeah. I probably look a little intimidating to these guys coming up to them. I've got this big bear cloak over my head. It's basically a bear head on top of my head. And I've got a big, giant great club like strapped to my back, and I'm like covered in like furs, and I'm like a very tall, like kind of buff, but I'm like very young, which is weird because I'm only like 17, but like I just passed my like adulthood trial from my tribe. And yeah, so I'm just kind of like strolling into town, just kind of I guess I'm gonna be looking for something to drink and something to eat because I've probably been traveling for a while.
So in this region, there's not really any inns.
Right.
If there is a church or temple, whatever word you want to use for it, that is going to be where travelers go. And here, of course, there is a rather large one. And they, if you ask someone along the way, they will tell you that the priestess is more than happy to share kind of a weak ale and some pork and venison if you're into that kind of thing.
That sounds fine to me. Yeah, I've been on the road for a little while. Rabbits and river water haven't been really cutting it out for me. So I need to sustain this body. So I don't typically go to church because church isn't really my thing. I'm more of an outdoorsy girl. But yeah, some decent food for once would be pretty good, and the company's probably good at least.
One second, I'm trying to. So you get to the temple, and it's really calling it a temple is a bit of a stretch. It's a wooden building with an entryway. It's not even necessary. There's not even a door. There's a skin. Looks like a bear because that's the only thing that's really going to be that big. Is kind of draped over and covering the doorway to keep the wind out. And as you open it up, there's a little shrine and an altar in the way back. But there's kind of a main area where you see a couple tables set up. There's a couple pitchers of what you expect from a distance to probably be ale. or a weak wine. And there's a kitchen area to the left, and to the right there's two doors or two doorways where if you look, you can see like some sleeping mats. So you expect that those are kind of the common rooms that someone can sleep in.
So like as I'm passing by that, you said it was like a bear pelt covering the window or like the entrance.
Yeah.
As I say, I kind of like say a little brief like thank you to the animal that gave its skin because my tribe basically worships the bear as almost like a greater deity.
Okay.
And kind of reveres the animal itself.
Mhm.
And as I walk by and kind of just take it all in, I kind of like scan the room to see if there's anybody that is interesting looking. I would say somebody who looks tough because this doesn't seem like a very active place. But yeah, I will probably ask the priestess if I can have a
Okay.
mug of ale and pop a squat somewhere and rest.
And she is actually fairly big herself. Being a priestess of Tempest, she's a battle cleric. So she's got, you can see she actually has like as close to plate armor as you've seen in your life, stacked up over along the wall with a really nice looking warhammer. And but she's really friendly. She gives you a mug and says that there's ale on the table, and if you'll give her a minute, she'll warm up some food. She has a kind of a venison stew with some local vegetables in it, and you're welcome to talk to any of the other people who are staying. You do see, or she does tell you that a couple of the guests are currently away because they are preparing for their next adventure. But you do see what form are you wearing right now, Elfie?
Currently a female.
Female what?
Human.
Okay. You do see a human female with
nondescript.
Pretty face, blonde hair, blue eyes, figure, not, but figure.
You have a lute and all that, right? Like you're a bard. You have all your
yes,
music. Okay.
I have a lute and
someone who's clearly a bard. They're obvious, and given this the setting, they would also be revered in certain parts just for being the gossips and the people who bring news. So
nice.
And it will be up to you to tell me, or even not, just how your tribe would view a traveling minstrel. So
typically, our tribe would view a traveling minstrel as just a wandering traveler. Typically, we would want to do some sort of trade with them. We would want to share stories. Our tribe is isn't very aggressive towards others. We like to keep the peace. We like to keep the land.
Cool.
So we're more about keeping peace in nature and prospering our growth as a family unit.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna drink my ale. I'm gonna kind of wait for the food. I guess I noticed the musical instrument, and I have a little djembe hanging off of like my belt, which is like a little tiny drum.
I've heard those. Those are cool.
Yeah, it's just a little thing that we use to sit around the fires and we do little drum circles and stuff like that. But yeah, so like I kind of just eye her and I'm just like, okay, that's probably good to know. the battle cleric probably has most of my attention, but she seems like she's working. um, and so yeah, I kind of just eat my food, and after that, I will. Yeah, I'll strike up a conversation with the human traveler with that has the instruments.
Okay. Well,
Because they kind of look like a wandering traveler. Uh, I'm trying to figure out like how I would introduce myself because I'm not a very personable person.
mhm. Right.
So-
So
That table. Your character have a pretty face.
Not really, but I wouldn't say she's ugly, but she's of the land. She's not a uh, she's
Not
think of
considered
like a
bombshell model.
no, she's not prissy at all. Like she doesn't wear makeup. She's
you should explain
know.
why that's important to you above table. Real quick.
The reason that's important, my character has a thing for pretty faces. It's kind of a weakness.
And you're not actually human.
No, I'm not actually human.
So her character's a changeling. So for her, it's like collecting a pretty face.
I'm going to add it to my collection.
I would say I have fairly average features, but like I could probably be pretty if somebody prettied me up, but like I spend a lot of time outdoors and like I'm covered in fur and a bear pelt and like a big old like wooden club. Like I don't look very refined.
Woo! And there we go.
Plus
There we go.
my charisma's pretty low, so
That's okay.
so usually like charisma's a pretty good direct translation to pretty. um So I probably just, go introduce myself, just be like, greetings, wandering traveler. I'm Arcadia. What's with this town? I've never really heard about it before.
Well, hello. I'm Danny. Fairly new here myself. My companions are off preparing themselves for another grand adventure. I'm relaxing and trying to make a little coin.
Okay. Hey, Elfie. So I just got a message from Laura. You and I have to bring our volumes down, or Arcadia, you have to come way up.
I don't know how to turn mine up, so give me
So it's typically easier. Like I'm gonna move my microphone away, and that will bring my volume down. Elfie, do the same so that we're not causing an issue with volume difference.
Better.
Probably.
So like I can't see the regular chats and I can only see it as it pops up. Otherwise it's gonna kick me out.
Laura messaged me or messaged the freak chat. So.
Yes, but if I open it up, I'm gonna lose StreamYard.
Yeah. That's why I was telling you. So let's try to speak a little softer and Arcadia try to project a little bit more so we can balance out the sound a little, and we'll deal with it kind of later.
I know I have some issues. For some reason, my computer decides to not recognize my microphone some of the time.
So... I mean, I can hear you fine. It's just my microphone is like semi-professional, and hers is designed for call center work. So it projects.
I've been meaning to get a new headset for a while. I just haven't been able to afford it.
Okay. I perfectly understand that.
Okay, so I'm going to basically just kind of like, are you like sitting on the floor?
Me?
Yeah, or like a bench or...
Probably just kind of sitting on a chair, strumming.
So there's tables and there's benches, like a long bench.
Okay, well then sitting on a bench and strumming.
Well, I don't have much in the way of coin, but I kind of pull out like a very like nicely tanned rabbit pelt, and I was just like, I have this pelt I skinned while I was out in the forest. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about yourself, and maybe we can play together. I've got a little drum.
That would work, my friend.
As you two play and talk and all that, a couple villagers do come in and just to sit and eat and everything, because not everyone around here cooks for themselves. It's a weird village like that. The temple, or not the temple, the priestess does bring you out your food after a few minutes, and kind of stays and listens as well. Everyone is appreciative of the uplifting music.
How appreciative.
This is not a culture that would give you money for playing, but they would give like Arcadia gave you a pelt. They would give you like little trinkets like that.
Trinkets are good. I'm not too picky.
There
as long
is
as they're pretty.
a little boy that gives each of you actually a kind of a leather thong necklace with like a wood carving on it, and it's just a carving of like a floral pattern. Yeah, probably a different kind of carving, but yeah, it would be like that.
No, I know it's not a floor. This is like a Maori sword.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. It was right there. I thought it was appropriate to grab it.
So I talk with and I can't even remember her name. I have it written down. Yes, Anathren. See, I have it written down.
How do you not remember her name? She has been in 4 different games that you have played in. She is in every
I had to
game.
write it down.
Every
Okay.
game.
Okay, how many names do I deal with writing?
That's your
20, 30.
Okay, anyway. After some time where there's no more villagers coming in,
So
she does sit at the table with both of you.
So I'm talking to Anithrid about anything that she has to keep us occupied. Any tasks or quests?
Well, I think. Oh, did I, Arcadia? When you came in, did I tell you about the quest that we were doing tonight? I don't remember.
No.
Okay, I'm a mess today. I'm sorry. So
It's not a big deal.
So then Anithrin will be the quest giver. She says there are actually some ruins to the north that I've heard about lately that I would like to go explore a little bit before we embark on any other grand designs. And if you two would accompany me, I do believe that we might be able to discover something fascinating while we're there.
Do you know anything else about it other than that they just exist and they're there?
I believe that they are gnomes. Yep. I believe it was a gnomish ruin. A group of forest gnomes before the cataclysm lived up there, and they traded in gems and a lot of useful trinkets like devices and contraptions that do things that are helpful. But obviously most of that technology is lost to us. So it would be interesting to see what's still there, if there's anything, and if we're able to bring a technology back into the world. I do know that in Relsfeth to the east, there are gnomes there that would trade much to recover old technologies of theirs that they could then reintroduce into production.
So this is my first time meeting either of these two, but does it seem to me like they know each other?
They know each other, but they're not friends yet. Like you can kind of get that vibe, like they've met, and that like Danny
know
was
of
here
each other?
before you. Yeah.
I would like to insight check both of them,
Okay.
just to kind of get a general feel about them in general.
Okay.
That's a 20. It's a 17 plus 3.
Okay. For Anethrin, you can tell she is an adventurer to her core. Like when
So I like her.
well, if that's your thing, then yes. Like
Yes.
to her, it is this grand adventure to go find this ruin, and if you can discover something that has been lost, that would tickle her fancy completely. Danny, you can answer that on your end. On what would a 20 insight give for your motivations here?
For my motivations, I'm still seeking information on my whom I believe to be deceased lover. I'm trying to figure out who killed my lover.
Okay, well, I mean, unless you told me that, I wouldn't know that. I was just trying to get a general feel about
a
like,
general feel.
you as a person, and like, do I think you're shady? Do I think that you're hiding
Oh
something
yeah,
from
I'm a
me?
charlatan.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm shady as they come. But pretty much, I'm after all the pretty and shiny.
Okay. So you're more in it for glory and fame and money,
All the pretty.
whereas what was the other name?
Anethrin.
Anethrin seems like she's in it for just the adventure itself and just the excitement of it. So I kind of get excited at Anethrin's enthusiasm, um, and I express that like I've been traveling for quite a while. My chief told me to go on this quest to explore the world, and adventure sounds like fun. Do you know if there's any sort of like nature spirits in this rune?
I have no way of knowing, to be honest. It's always possible. They were forest elves, so they wouldn't have just been tinkers. There might be something that would interest you in that regard. Who can tell when you're dealing with ruins of the ancients?
Well, it sounds like fun to me, and maybe I can learn some things along the way. I'm fairly new to the outside of my tribe, so I'm down for seeing the world as it is.
And so she speaks of, I remember those days when I first left my clan. The thirst for the next step drove me, and I think back fondly on those times. And I don't think they've completely left me.
Purpose in this world.
Of course, yes. I need to pull up her character sheet real quick. Okay, so she suggests that you both get a good night's sleep, and that she'll wake you at first light the next day if you're not already awake, and you can go along and try to find the ruins.
So I'm going to mention before they turn in, Anethrin, do you know if there's anyone here with any information on someone who was murdered? Taken and murdered. It would have been a changeling.
A changeling? No. I have I mean, we've dealt with a murder in my time here, but that was a couple of years ago, and that was it was sad. We'll put it that way, but it was certainly not a changeling. Just two humans who should have known better.
What's the moon phase tonight?
I haven't put that kind of thought into it.
No worries. It basically on full moons I would do some sort of ritual or some sort of prayer.
I can definitely tell you it's not a full moon.
Okay.
Because that is actually important to a different character.
Dot dot dot.
Not me.
So anyone doing anything significant before bed?
Not necessarily. No, I'm gonna probably just go through my supplies, make sure I have everything I need, which isn't much. I just have my weapons. I'm gonna probably clean my cloak, and that's probably about it.
Is there any way I can
drink some more ale?
Is there any way I can abscond with my bag of holding from Pongo?
Yeah, I would say that you guys would probably be able to work it out to where you take the bag of holding.
I am using the bag of holding. You're staying here. You can have it back when I'm come back. I found it.
So as you wake up the next day, she's waiting for you in the main hallway. She gives each of you a little red vial. And she says, this is a healing potion. They are very rare, but don't be afraid to use them if you have to. So these are weak healing potions. It is 1d4 plus 1. Oh, Eric is screaming no about the you taking the bag of holding for this.
One trip.
So he physically has possession of it. So if he's not letting you take it, then
I am never letting you touch my bag of holding again, mister. We find another bag of holding, it is mine.
Stuff it over his head. It'll end the argument real quick.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I wouldn't even. Well, I probably didn't even see her do that. So like, I wouldn't even know what a bag of holding is. I'd be like, "What's that? Magic?"
Actually, yeah, you.
What's magic?
So just so you're aware,
I've seen magic, but like, not like that.
So they come. So her character and then their characters actually come from a different world. We portaled into this world because we started a different campaign, and I decided I didn't want to do an epic storyline because I get lost in the weeds too easily. So they didn't want to give up their characters, so they just portaled in, and so they're actually used to a lot more magic and wealth and all that. So this is kind of depressing to them.
It's a bit. It's also depressing that I'm like in a form that's currently quite a bit shorter than Pongo.
Oh, he's letting you take the bag, but he's keeping the money.
Fine. I just need a bag to put stuff in.
Realistically, the gold that you brought from the other world probably makes you incredibly rich here. I didn't think about that. I should have nerfed that. I'm going to have to figure out a way to nerf that. Yeah.
I didn't bring any gold. I didn't take the gold.
Right, but
put it in the freaking bag.
As a party, you guys have enough gold to buy a region almost. Like gold, most people use copper bits, which isn't even a copper coin. So
yes, I know what a bit is.
Anyway, so you guys head off north. It's kind of like weaving through a forest. So I guess Arcadia, what kind of what's your natural environment, basically?
Yeah, like forest edge is like my natural environment.
Okay.
Yeah, hills and forest area. I was born next to a very old forest,
Okay.
but our encampment moves around and doesn't really stay in one place for very long.
Okay.
So
But you're comfortable here. I'm not going to give anyone any kind of like advantages or disadvantages on checks, but give me just a general roll your perception.
okay,
Um,
Me too, or
16.
yeah.
ooh, nat 20.
Okay. You're both pretty well on your toes. Let me do hers just to make sure she doesn't get caught out. Where's my dice roller? There it is. Okay, well, it's a good thing you two are paying attention. So Anathryn seems kind of lost in thought during your trip, but you both notice after a time that you are being followed. Give me you would notice about the same time with those high rolls. So you notice that you're being followed, but you can't tell by what yet. What are you going to do about it?
And you said we're actually in the forest right now?
Yes.
So we just don't we don't actually see anything, but we just kind of get a general sense that we're being followed.
You hear rustling every now and again, and occasionally you hear snorting. And when the wind kind of swirls a little bit, you smell something that kind of stinks, like an animal that lives. A predator kind of has that smell of kind of
Okay.
death on them.
Yeah, it's probably something that I've smelled before. Being somebody who lives near and around the woods. But let's see. Here.
Actually, yeah, you specifically give me a. What would be survival in this game? In
Survival.
Is survival still a skill?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
then give me a
survival is a wisdom.
I don't get to play very often. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like survival. You want me to do a survival roll?
Yes, please.
That is a 19.
Okay. You smell a warg.
Oh. Those aren't supposed to be around here. Or I guess I would know.
So actually, that is correct. They're not supposed to be around here.
A warg, like the wolfed hyena thing.
Yeah.
Big ass weird wolf thing.
Okay.
I motioned to Danny and Anathryn basically to keep low and to I point to my ear in whatever direction I heard it come from.
Okay.
There we go.
I wonder, do I have a card for the writer, actually?
At some point, I am going to actually dig out my spells.
Would I know if I am upwind or downwind from it?
You are downwind. But it's close enough that it can still track you by scent.
I'm going to cast Locate Animals or Plants.
Give me a knowledge check or a insight check first.
Insight.
You're looking for 15.
I got 11.
Okay. You can cast your spell then.
So it's basically describe or name specific kind of beast or plant, concentrating on the voice of nature in your surroundings. You learn the direction and distance to the closest creature or plant of that kind within 5 miles, if any are present. So basically, I just have to name it.
So here's the problem. A warg is a monstrosity.
It's not a beast.
Yeah.
Well, my changeling's not exactly. My changeling is not exactly an animal friendly. Okay, I think it's a critter.
From my roll, am I able to figure out if it's just the one or if there's multiple?
There's one. You do know that where there's a warg, there's probably a rider.
Great.
But you don't smell, see, or hear any more than just the one. So you think probably a scout.
Okay. So I say the warg is going to be able to find us by smell, but I say we try to at least take some cover and see what it does. What do you guys think?
I don't think I have a issue with that.
So I'm just gonna kind of like put my back against a tree and just kind of ready myself for anything that's coming. And I'm just gonna try to keep my ears and eyes open for anything that's gonna come my way.
Okay.
I'm not specifically hiding because I don't think I'll be very good at that, but I'm just trying to keep out of sight.
Okay. After a few moments of you guys kind of taking this defensive position, you hear a really guttural sound, and you hear rustling, and through the tree line about 20 feet away, the warg breaks through the trees and is barreling towards you. There is a goblin on its back. Roll initiative.
That's the thing.
Oh, God.
Do.
Hopefully that's my low roll.
Okay. Warg is, and the goblin is. I'm just going to use those. Okay. Arcadia, what do you got?
18.
Elfie.
2.
Wait, Danny. Sorry. You're the difficult one because I talk to you every day. 2 total?
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't. I've got 0.
Okay, Arcadia, you are the top of the initiative order.
Great. So do I have a pretty decent clear line of sight on the goblin?
Yeah.
I'm gonna chuck a javelin at it and try to knock it off the warg.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make a ranged melee attack. That's a 20. Not a natural 20. It's 14.
That definitely hits.
All right, 1d6. That is 6 damage piercing.
Okay. He drops off of the warg because he failed his ride check, and he is bloody.
And then I guess bonus action, I would like to rage.
Okay. That takes us to Anithrin, who steps forward with her hammer and tries to stop the warg's momentum with a shot to the face. That does it. So she rolled a 15, and Warhammer. Oh, okay. So she takes a good chunk out of this warg. It's already looking a little beat up. That takes us to the goblin. It's gonna hop back up and charge at Arcadia with the ugliest looking little short sword you've ever seen. Does an 11 hit you?
No, it does not.
Okay. Well, it waves this ugly, rusty sword at you ineffectually. The warg is trained to follow, so it's going to attack you as well. Does a 12 hit you?
No.
Wow, they suck. Okay, Elfie, Danny, it's your turn.
You'll get it eventually. I'm going to go after the warg with my rapier.
Okay.
I seriously doubt that hits. That's a 7.
Okay, nope. Back to the top, Arcadia. You are now
All right,
raging.
so I basically got a warg right in front of my face.
Yeah, it's so like the goblin's right in front of you. The warg is like kind of catty corner threatening you as well.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take my great club and try to bash the goblin in the face.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. That is a 20 again. 18
Okay.
or 12 plus 6 plus the 2 rage bonus.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be 98. 20 is the 8. That is 11 damage.
Okay, cool. I have to stop using the O word around my phone because Google thinks I'm talking to it every time. So the goblin goes
Goblin.
squish. Yeah.
Cool.
It went squeak.
So give yourself 5 experience for a kill shot.
Okay.
And that takes us to Anethrin. See, no one's taken damage. Oh, sorry. The warg also lets out a loud howl when the rider goes down. And you get the feeling that it has entered its own version of rage.
Okay.
Anethrin steps up and attacks it. This might be a quick fight. Yeah, she because you had all of its attention, she gets behind it and brings her hammer down and breaks its spine.
Nice.
And
Ew.
it falls and dies very quickly. Or is permanently paralyzed, and being the upstanding citizens that you are, you end its suffering, I assume.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So you've got a dead goblin and a dead warg. What do you do?
How much XP? You said 5?
Yeah. So every kill shot gives 5.
Cool.
Just Because I want to reward people who are doing combat, but I don't want to make it such a big reward that it gets them like way ahead of people who are not
Oh, no,
necessarily combat
that's
classes.
fine. I just was wanting to make sure before I did anything crazy. So I'm going to inspect the warg because, well, I don't know if I would know anything about warg anatomy, but I know more about an animalistic anatomy than the humanoid goblin. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kind of inspect the warg.
Its pelt is really like the hair is kind of stringy, and it's not like a good thick, like even a wolf or a dog would be. It's kind of gross. The hide is tougher. It smells pretty bad.
Okay.
But other than that, it is like it's a monstrosity, but it is pretty bestial. There's nothing really going on there that is completely foreign to you.
Okay. No, yeah, I was just basically inspecting it just to see if I noticed anything interesting about it, but that's fine.
Okay.
And why isn't that not saving? That's weird. Okay. I'm trying to add the experience on D&D Beyond, and it's not agreeing with me.
Knock it off, you two. Sorry, we have a wrestling match going on back here.
Because they always have to wait until something is going on before they can play.
Yes, and that's Stormy. Because Smith's center of attention's not getting any attention, you know. Poor little thing.
Are you guys doing anything with the goblin?
I was just say, is there any sort of symbol on the goblin that I might recognize from seeing like wandering tribes of either orcs or goblins?
So it does have a necklace, kind of the same kind of like that leather thong with a symbol on it. Give me an insight, or maybe not insight. What would it be?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. I mean, that might be like an investigation. That might.
Yeah, I think that would be more of like a investigation.
Well, so the
it's more
thought
of a just, do I recognize the symbol from any other tribe that I've been?
Just roll a d20, and if it's really high, we'll see kind of where it comes from.
Nope.
Okay. Well, that answers the question.
I rolled a 1.
Oh.
So apparently goblin tribal knowledge is maybe not your strong suit. That's okay. Elfie, you or Danny, you wouldn't know anything about the goblin tribes in this world, and Anithrin is fairly new to the region. So
but I do know that typically goblins and stuff like that don't travel alone.
That is correct.
So I will say we need to get moving before his friends show up.
I'm all down for that. They are ugly.
Well, as you guys begin to walk on, Anithrin stops and takes the rusted short sword, at least. As she's walking with you, she kind of says, maybe the blacksmith can get the rust off of it, and the village guards can have I'm not going to say a decent weapon, but a weapon, maybe.
A better weapon than a stick.
More than a stick.
More than a stick. More than a pointy stick.
1 second, my mouse is having issues. Yes, the couch is still available. The couch is always available. There will never be a time when the couch is not available. It's a meme. Don't overthink it.
I can't see anything, remember?
Yeah, someone's commenting, is the couch still available? It's an internet meme from like 3 years ago that people still giggle about. It's fine. So give me a survival check for the process of searching for the ruins, because you've come far enough.
Both of us?
Yes.
21. No, 20.
Okay.
I rolled a
19.
15.
Okay, well, so you guys actually, after about an hour of looking, you stumble upon a
I told you I spent a lot of time in the woods.
yeah. So there's like this hill, like you break through the woods, and there's a kind of a hill, and kind of built into the hill you can see different mounds, and some of them have like archways that are a little small and cramped, but you think that you could fit in there. And it does seem like the way that a forest gnome village would have been laid out.
Any like writing anywhere?
Not that you can see it. Grass has overgrown, basically. Well, grass, weeds, vines.
So you're saying it looks like
everything.
a village, not necessarily like a.
Looks like an abandoned village.
Yeah. Okay.
Stormy.
Yeah, so this
Join
isn't like an
camp.
underground lair or anything like that. It's just it's a village where forest gnome tinkers used to live.
Is it kind of like down, or is it like up on the hill?
It's so there is kind of a where it slopes down before the hill begins, and you do see what looks like at some point would have been a wall, but now it's like most of the bricks have fallen and there's rocks strewn all over, and inside of that kind of circle of stones, it does like there's different huts at different levels, and then at the top there's like a big structure, big being relative in this case.
It's big for a
Like,
gnome.
am I going to be too big to get in these buildings?
So you think that you'll fit in most of them, and you'll definitely fit in the big one, but you're like most of these buildings are probably just hovels.
Okay.
So
like before we like enter the village, I'm just gonna kind of do a surveillance just to kind of see if there's either any other people I can see or any other traces of people who have come through here recently.
okay, give me perception.
Hard to read clear dice. 18.
Okay. You see animal tracks, deer, the occasional wolf, nothing humanoid,
Okay.
at least recently.
I'll say this is like it looks pretty clear. Anatharin, do you know? Is there something specific that you wanted to look for here? Besides the fact that the ruins are here.
They were known to have gems, and they were known to inscribe them. So some of those gems would have powers and abilities.
Runes.
And they, like I said, they made little devices that could do various things that were typically powered by those gems. So if we could find Tinker's devices to trade to the gnomes, they might look upon us kindly and trade us something of value, something that would be useful to the people of Strelsgate or to us or both.
So I'm about to scare the life out of these two because I don't think Anatharin's seen this either. I shift into a gnome.
She is definitely, she stands there just stunned for a moment.
What's that?
What do you mean, what's that?
Gestures.
What, you've never seen a girl shift into a boy? What's wrong with you? I start wandering off into a little house.
Okay.
It's normal for me. Sorry, my character is kind of an ass, so.
You should also, because it's been about a month since this has even been brought up, her character doesn't know its original base.
No.
Sexual, like.
I don't know if I'm originally male or female or what I even looked like originally. So.
That's why
cool.
Danny is questing.
defined your existence.
Yeah, and lover.
Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of like look around. Um, you said there was like one bigger building.
Yes, the what you would assume would be kind of the town hall.
I'm gonna go to the bigger building because I think it's the one that's gonna fit me the best.
Okay. So when you, so as we're semi-splitting, we'll start with Arcadia. You walk in. Um, you see a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, like silverware, basically, with a lot of like gems in it. The cups are full of pretty stones. Most of the metal is definitely, you can tell it's been exposed to um, the elements for a long time. And you also see on the main table, there's a like a candle stand, except at the top there's not a candle, there's just like a glass globe that's glowing. It would be glowing fairly brightly if it wasn't daytime.
Not there.
So I'm not too familiar with objects that would be something like that. I wouldn't even know if it was magic, but I have a.
Yeah.
I think I would think that it would like I would have an idea that I probably shouldn't touch it.
So that would probably be a good natural reaction.
And yeah, I'll just kind of keep looking around. Since I saw Danny do the weird shape shifty thing, I'm gonna assume she might know a little bit more about magic than I do. And while she's walking around, she'll probably go find Danny and be like, I found this weird globe thing. You might want to take a look at. You might know more about it than I do.
So now I'm like looking way up. What the ray?
Just a second. There we go.
Dog
What the
fur.
fuck was that?
Dog fur.
No, I was reading the comments.
Someone started getting too offensive, so I banned them.
Okay.
Anyway, so above table, it's basically a lamp, but it's being powered by stones that are like runic stones that we were talking about earlier. So that's kind of what you're looking at when you see it. Any like, are you gonna touch it? Are you gonna?
I'm not gonna touch it because I don't know what it is. I'm probably looking. I don't know what I'd be looking for.
Last time I went and touched something, I didn't know what it was. We ended up going, phew! So I'm going to take my time and kind of study this thing, see if I can figure out what it is.
Okay. Do you have Arcana as a skill?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I don't either.
Just Anithrin.
But I have like I have Gnomish as a language, so if there's anything in Gnomish that's around the thing.
Oh, you see the word Eldamo inscribed into the base of this candlestick thing, and you know that means to illuminate.
So I step back and say, El Damo.
The light goes out.
Huh. Neat trick. I say it again.
The light turns back on.
That could be useful in like
I found a flashy light.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but you could definitely make it an ever burning torch, really.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you basically found yourself a magic lantern.
Yep.
Yeah.
My magic can. Well, you said it's kind of like on a candlestick. Is it
Yeah.
like stuck to it?
I mean, it looks like a lamp with a light bulb and no shade.
Sweet. Mine. I'm currently
Well,
putting it in the bag of holding. Pongo,
Ar-
this is mine.
I mean, Arcadia found it.
Oh, Arcadia found it, but I'm the one who got to work.
So, Arcadia, you were already kind of moving on. You do see that there are, there's most of them haven't survived well, but for whatever reason, this one, there's like you think it would be like an old deer skin that it must have some kind of magic on it because it hasn't faded with time. It hasn't like I think there's a limit to how long you can keep a deer skin around, right? Like I'm not great at that, but I have to think it degrades.
I'm pretty I would think it would degrade, but I mean like tanned leather does keep for a long time, especially if it's taken care of.
Okay.
But obviously this has been abandoned for who knows how long.
Yeah, thousands of years.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
for
gonna
it
be
to
pretty
still be in
beat up.
this good of condition, like especially if there's any sort of weather that got in here, because I'm assuming there's not very
Yeah, most of the wood in here is rotten.
So yeah, I'm gonna kind of see how it's attached to the wall, and I think I'll...
So it's just attached by a couple of rings that you can even when you look at the ring, you can pull the ring apart really easily, and on the hide is it's a white bear.
Oh.
And so the region that you're in has it's very temperate. There's no polar bears here. So I don't know if you would have ever heard of one.
No, but I would recognize the shape as a bear.
Yeah, you would know it's a bear. It's just a type
It's
of bear
white.
that's really interesting. Yeah. And the eyes are kind of glowing, and they're these two very tiny sapphires, but they're glowing. They're visibly glowing.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch it.
It seems it's not really doing anything when you touch it. It seems to just be for effect. The magic is keeping everything looking nice and preserved.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this down and roll it up and kind of add it to my the back of my pack.
Okay.
To have somebody take a look at it, or maybe the next time that I see my tribe, maybe have my chief look at it.
Okay. As you are finishing that up, you hear not a scream, but a squeal of excitement from outside. And assuming that you both run to hear what it is, you see Anithrin kind of pulling, bent over, coming out of one of the small huts, and she's holding up what looks like a crossbow, but it's really, really intricate.
Well, that's pretty.
It is pretty. It is definitely made of it looks silver. Or, sorry, it looks silvery.
Silvery. I'm still dancing around with my weird candle stick thing.
she runs up to you guys, and she's holding this crossbow, and it's clearly a crossbow, even though it doesn't look like one you've ever seen before. But she's also holding these two little contraptions. You can see a spring, and there's little bolts in there. And she says, "I think it's a repeater."
You found a repeating crossbow.
Isn't this amazing? The gnomes are going to trade so much for this. They talk about these all the time and how they don't know how to make them anymore. I think they're going to trade a lot for this.
Yeah, so that they can take it apart and probably break it.
Yes, probably. They're gnomes.
Or somehow there's going to be an explosion involved, even though there's no reason for there to be one. I've seen gnomes. Stuff just explodes around them. I don't know what it is.
Things just tend to go boom.
So, yeah, I mean, anybody else? So you found your nice little pretty crossbow. Should we continue to look around this village a little bit more?
Yeah,
Certainly.
I'm gonna go into one of the other huts, one of them that looked a little more, I guess,
If you're
Okay,
gonna Greyhawk,
more like a
if you're gonna
blacksmith
Greyhawk
kinda.
everything, you'll find a little bit of money, and what you found are the three major items. I changed the one slightly to make it fit Arcadia's character, but realistically, you found everything that I had envisioned in this ruin, other than a little bit of money.
Yeah, so we'll probably just do like a general canvas of the ruin.
Okay, so you find a total of 12 silver between the three of you, and Anithrin is perfectly willing to pass on it and let you two split it. She's really in love with this crossbow, and it's probably worth more than she was expecting to find on this dungeon run.
Well, I'm pretty happy with my pretty stick. So, I'm going to give the silver to Arcadia. There we go. Too many
And I'm
A's.
just like, I don't even know what to do with this amount of money at this point, because I'm like, I haven't even seen a silver coin in like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how long at this point. I'm just like,
yeah,
what?
your tribe would maybe see one of these every 3 or 4 years from an incredibly rich trader.
Are you guys sure this is a lot of money?
Well, I don't know about Anithrin, but I may be kind of into the pretty and shiny, but you need it more than I do.
Her character got starting gold above table, so like I said, it was a different campaign when they started.
No, it's not fine. It's fine. Like, I'm pretty sure like even my character got starting gold, but like I think it was like not much.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much starting gold I got.
Well, because I made my whatever that is, like squalor, so I think it's like a few silver pieces. It wasn't anything special.
Oh, I've got like 45. Okay.
Yeah, you guys made bank in that temple that you cleared before, well, half cleared before you warped them out of that world. So as you guys are kind of wrapping up, you catch that smell on the breeze again.
The warg.
Yeah. And that gives you just enough time to kind of be on alert when 2 more wargs with riders step into the clearing.
I was hoping to avoid that.
And these have 2 riders apiece. As they get into the clearing, though, the 2 on the back bail off. They're clearly archers.
Oh, great.
So,
Yeah.
is there anything you want to try to do before initiative?
Yes, I'm. Hold on. I'm casting Bardic Inspiration on Arcadia, or not?
Okay.
Yeah, on Arcadia. It means you
Uh,
get
what
a
Yeah, what's your
D6.
inspiration dice? Okay, D6.
Yep, you get a D6. Add a D6.
To basically anything.
Basically, yeah. Anything that's not a damage roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then actually, as you're doing that, since you're casting inspiration, Anithrin casts Bless on you, Denny. Which is basically a D4 on it's a slightly weaker version of Bardic Inspiration.
Okay.
So they're like at the top of the
So
little, like,
you guys are kind of at the
river
top,
thing.
they're at the bottom.
Okay.
So, as Obi-Wan would say, you have the high ground.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically I'm gonna try to ready another javelin, but yeah, if we're gonna go into combat, I'll wait for that because it's not
Okay.
like I have a surprise on them.
All right, roll initiative.
Can I get higher than a 2? Oh, sweet! I got a 9. Yes, 9.
Total?
Yes, total.
I got 21.
You gotta understand, like, I have 0 to add to my initiative, so
I
mine's a
have a
straight
plus
roll.
1. I rolled a nat 20 on my initiative.
I never roll good on initiative, so that's okay.
Okay. Orcs are they all have the same deck, so I'm gonna throw them all on the same dice roll. Make it easy.
I'm out of tea.
Okay. Some people, I swear to God. Anyway, Arcadia, you are first.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to take another rider off. So I'm gonna throw a javelin at one of the riders.
Okay.
That is a 13.
That does hit.
Okay. I was like,
None of these are hard to hit, fortunately.
13 question mark. 1d6. Oh man, that's terrible damage. 5 damage.
You roll a 1d6 for a great club? Oh no, you're throwing a
it's
javelin.
Yeah. Yeah, I threw it at range. I threw a javelin.
You said 5?
Yes, it's a 1d6 plus 4.
Okay, bandit. I'm using the bandit card, whatever. 5. Okay. It is their turn. So, I gotta make a ride check.
I was to say, ride isn't a skill in 5e.
Yeah, I still do it. So you'll find there's a lot of things where
No, it's
it's
fine.
like that
Like, you
doesn't
can
make
use-
sense that this doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, you could use animal handling or like athletics to like hold on.
Yeah.
And I'm basically like a ride check is going to be an animal handling check with the same modifiers. It's just,
Yeah.
in my mind, it's ride.
Yeah, like climb isn't really a skill anymore either.
Yeah, it's like athletics. And I get why they did it. It does make the game simple, but it's really tough for those of us that lived in 3.5 for too long.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I lived in 3.5 for too, and then I lived in
I didn't start playing until
Pathfinder World forever.
I started actually just sitting in on games and coloring while he DM'd. And I joined in on a game or two.
Okay,
These
so
trolls.
he does. Yeah, it's if they're gonna just joke about Elfie's breasticles, that's whatever. It's when they start getting really insulting, I'm getting rid of them.
Okay, you guys. Well, you want to bitch about it?
No one's bitching about it. You just
Oh,
pulled your
crap.
phone down. How?
Yes, I know. Again, because I don't remember that this stupid thing's attached on a cord that's stuck on the chair.
Okay, so he passes the animal handling. Both wargs charge. One is so this time as they're charging, Anithrin actually steps forward and does like a battle yell. So they split a little bit, and each of you takes one warg and one goblin attack. So first on Arcadia, warg misses. Goblin hits for. Okay, it's that short sword. Ooh, 7.
Ow.
Yeah. And then rolling against Anithrin. Oh. What does a warg attack do?
I would assume bite.
Oh, damn. Oh, God. She might drop from this.
Uh-oh.
What is her health?
So freaking lucky.
She's still up with 1 hit point. When that happens, when the warg hits her, there's like you hear kind of a small thunderclap, and the warg kind of pulls back and yelps a little bit at the same time. Okay, so she is down to 1. That warg. And then.
So you said that the warg was the one that hit me?
No, the goblin hit you,
Okay.
and the warg hit her. And then the archers are actually going to fire at Danny.
Oh, crap.
Miss.
Yay! You little good thing.
Okay, Anithrin goes next. She sets her shield and tries to heal herself. There we go. Okay. She's looking a lot better after that. Elfie, or Danny.
I'm going to use Cure Wounds. What you said she looks better? Is she like half or like bloody? What?
She's kind of in that bloody range, yes.
We'll get her cured first.
Which one are you using?
Cure Wounds.
Okay.
So
Should be D8 plus your charisma.
Yep. So 10.
Okay. She's back to
Total.
full then. Back to the top. Arcadia.
Okay. So is it a bonus action or an action to drink a potion?
I would say bonus.
Okay. So then, so for my action, I'm going to try to again knock this goblin off the warg, but I'm going to use my club this time because he's right in front of me.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that first, and that is a 13 again.
That hits.
Yeah, and that's a 1d8.
I think your minimum kills him at this point because he's pretty messed up.
That is a 6 damage.
Okay, he is down.
All right, and then my bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and drink that potion that we were given.
Okay. So D4 plus 1.
Come on, pyramid. Hey, look at that, a 4.
Nice.
All right. So heal 5. Okay. And then, I'm going to wrestle around with this warg probably.
Okay.
But I can't do anything right now, so.
All right. Oh, you know what? I did forget that they are supposed to knock things prone, but you know what? These are slightly higher leveled creatures than you should be fighting, so I'm just going to leave that part off, and we'll call it good. Warg on Arcadia, that one will hit. For 10 damage.
Oof. I'm like barely holding on. Like I'm breathing real heavy.
Okay.
I'm like I took a knee. That shit hurt.
Worgen Goblin on Anethrin. 1 hit. No, actually, both of those missed. Okay, so the goblins, one of them is shooting at Anethrin and one is shooting at Danny. Okay. Danny, what's your armor class?
11.
Okay, it hit you. For 4 damage. Okay, that takes us to Anethrin. She's going to burn that last first level to... I'll assume you guys were standing next to... No, because it needs to be a bonus action. She's going to burn that last one to cast Healing Word on you. For 8.
Me or...
Yes, Arcadia. Because you're the rough-looking one right now. So you regain 8.
Okay.
And then she is going to Warhammer the goblin in front of her.
That's a really good healing word.
She's min-maxed as far as her casting ability. Okay, that hits. And drops him. All right. So the initial riders are both off their mounts. You're now dealing with 2 archers and 2 wargs. Danny.
I am going to... I'm going to try to hit the archer that keeps shooting at me with my hand crossbow. I ain't doing shit. That was an 8.
Total again?
Total.
Okay. Sorry. I want to get everyone into that habit so that after a couple of weeks I can completely stop asking that question. And Arcadia is already on top of this.
Yeah, and I keep giving you totals.
You have been. Hopefully next week I'll be able to just trust that everyone's giving me the total from now on. I have trust issues as a DM. I just do.
Hey, I've been playing with you long enough. You should know that I can do this mostly.
Okay, so back to the top.
All right.
Katie.
I'm about to do some crazy shit.
Let me stop you for a moment, and because we did not have this conversation, and I really needed to. The more inventive, stupid bullshit that you can come up with, like I love pro wrestling, so if you tell me that you're gonna jump off of something and catch a bad guy and do a Canadian destroyer, like that kind of shit nerds me out I will start throwing extra damage and shit in there if you can make your rolls. So as inventive as you can be.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I'm going to try to mount the warg.
So there's two ways you could mean that. Which one are we talking?
Well, so I don't have the parts for one, but no, I'm assuming it has some variation of reins and saddle or something that the goblin was using to control said beast.
It does have kind of a crude saddle, and there's it has kind of a choke collar kind of a thing.
So basically, what I want to do is I kind of want to like stick my great club in its mouth and kind of use that as a pivot point to like jump onto its back. And I basically want to once I do that, I want to charge the archer.
Okay, give me athletics. Well, so I'm going to need athletics and beast handling, but I'll let you do them both.
All right. Can I retcon a rage or?
It's a bonus action.
Okay.
You
so
can
I'm gonna
rage.
go ahead and rage first. Because reasons. Because +2 to athletics.
Well, it's. I was kind of surprised you didn't earlier because it's also that cutting damage in half.
Know. No, it doesn't do that yet.
Doesn't it?
Not yet.
Oh, I must just be used to high level.
Oh yeah. Resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take half. No, yeah. So what? I didn't use it for the javelin, and then didn't have a bonus action in last turn because of other reasons.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you said a athletics first.
Yep.
That is a 18. That's 10 plus 6 plus the 2 rage bonus.
Got it. So you easily pull off that maneuver, and now you're in the saddle. Give me the handle animal to make it do what you want it to do.
Okay. And that is a 19, 14 plus 5.
God damn. That's good. Fuck off, John. We'll destroy all the Canadians if we want to. So your action is complete. So I'm not going to give you an attack here, but I will give you a trample on one of the archers.
Okay.
So roll basically an attack roll.
Right. What am I? That's a natural 20. I've got my quasi dice tray, the little clear one.
I believe you. I liked it.
Okay.
So here's how crits work. It's max plus. So we're gonna say D8 plus the warg strength, which is 3, so that's 11. Now roll another D8.
8.
It squishes that little fucker so much.
That thing is a puddle.
And now the battlefield is in chaos. So I am going to give the warg a chance to break control.
Okay.
And it did not. The other one, it's not a smart beast. The other one runs off. It's confused and doesn't really, like, its rider is dead. Its partner is dominated, kind of. It's just done with this fight. So the archer is going to shoot at Arcadia because you are clearly the biggest threat. And that will hit.
Literally and figuratively.
You take 7 damage.
Jeez.
Yeah, their damage rolls have been really good.
Do I need to make a?
No, because it's not a strength weapon. That's what I've been basing those on, is the fact that you're throwing a strength weapon. And that's basically the end of the bad guys.
Well, you said he just shot at me, but and hit me. He's still there.
Yeah, he's there. I mean, like, for their turn.
Okay.
Anithrin, she's perplexed. So she kind of moves down the hill enough that if she has to come save you, like some kind of from death or something, she's close enough, but she's not wanting to get too close to you being on a warg, for obvious reasons. So she's going to hold her action after moving down the hill to kind of get within movement range of you, and we will go to Danny.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. Do I need to like have hands on for Cure Wounds?
Cure
Yes,
Wounds
it is
is
a
touching.
touch.
Healing Word is the distance one.
Ranged, yeah.
I'm gonna do Healing Word then because I ain't getting close to the dog.
Okay.
Thing.
So a Healing Word is D4. That's the difference.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Well,
Plus Charisma.
yeah, you're getting 6
You rolled a
total.
1.
I rolled a 1.
I'm getting 6.
Yep.
Okay.
I almost got you back there.
I've
Listen.
gone down to like 3, and then I got put back up. Then I went down to 2, got put back up. And like I was like, geez, I'm like hovering right there.
Yoink, yoink, yoink.
So it's your
I'm
turn.
gonna yo-yo you for you.
You still have control of the warg, and there's one archer in front of you.
So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of run him down and try to just freaking take a nice swing at him with the club.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
Sweet. That is a lot.
I'm going to assume it hits as low as their AC is.
Yeah, I rolled a 15, so
Yeah.
and that's a D8. That's not a D8. Where are you? That's 10 damage.
He is very, very bloody. So on to their turn. The warg is going to try to break again. Still failed. The goblin throws down its bow and just runs.
I'm done with this.
Oh, I forgot earlier. Arcadia, you got 5 experience for dropping the rider, and 5 more for running the other one down.
So now that he's leaving my melee range, do I get an attack of opportunity?
You do.
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
That probably hits because I rolled a 17. And then that is 7 damage.
Yeah, he had 1 left, so he's dead. So I guess 15 experience total for kill shots.
Okay.
So before we get out of combat, how are you going to try to disengage with this warg? Because it's clearly not it's hostile still.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Okay. I'll give you a minute to think about it. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. You think about it.
Right.
Let me see.
Shenanigans activate.
I might have a spell for animals. Hold on. I can't remember. This is the first time I've played a bard. I usually play druids. I like druids.
Well, it's like I took animal handling as a skill because of because of my background, like where I kind of like grew up in the woods and like I dealt with wild animals and like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
see, that makes sense.
Like my character totally makes sense for her background, but like she's not a people person.
Let's see.
All right.
Not too bad. I don't have 5th level spells.
All right. So I'm gonna try to wrestle the warg into some more submission, and then try to encourage it to eat the goblin archer. Like I want to like try to like get this to be my friend-ish without
Okay.
attacking me.
Give me a.
Like I want to dismount, but like I want to dismount by like taking it down with me, and then like
Okay, so give me athletics first then.
okay. That is, you're not gonna believe me, a natural 20.
I
And
guess it has to
my
oppose.
athletics is +6, so
Well, it's good that you rolled well because it did as well. But you do wrestle it to the ground. You kind of slide forward and grab it by the neck and kind of wrench it down, and you're holding it there.
like I don't want a pet. I just
Right.
want it to not attack me when I get off of it. So I'm trying to
So
show
if you're
that
not
I'm the
trying to
boss.
tame it,
Yeah, I'm
and
just trying to
you,
show
like-
that I'm the boss, and it
Yeah.
needs to like listen to me for now.
You get the sense that it kind of gives up after a moment. Like it kind of rolls over onto its side like a dog would when it's like presenting its belly. Yeah, it's definitely not going to listen to you, but it's
Yeah.
willing to disengage.
All right. Yeah, and then I just kind of like kick the goblet archer in front of its mouth to eat, and then I kind of just like shoo it.
It takes the archer by the throat and kind of slinks off into the woods, and that is out of combat.
Shenanigans.
Lots of shenanigans.
Yeah. Too bad I'm not playing a monk. There'd be some like hardcore parkour nonsense going on.
Sounds like fun.
So you actually, I assume, looting happens at this point.
Oh,
I'm just worried that there's now this goblin band like still out there.
Yeah. So I
Um,
mean, they're not wearing much. So like, if you just pick up the weapons and everything and skedaddle, it'll take you like 2 minutes.
yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
what's
You-
best. And then like I'm gonna keep my nose and ears
Mhm.
readily on the alert as we're heading back to the town.
Okay.
active perception.
So you do notice they all have the same kind of symbol. It's a tooth.
Okay, I'm gonna take one of those necklaces.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask around in town about it, maybe see if anybody's seen or heard about
Okay.
this goblin band.
So you actually make it back without any incident. You do, as night falls, you do hear howls that are definitely warg and not wolf howls, but they're off to the west quite a bit more. These look like they were outriders for whatever is going on. They're outriders that you fought. You make it back into the town without any problems as the sun is setting.
So you said when I first came in, there wasn't really a whole lot of like guard per se. So there's not like a watch captain or something like that.
So there is, and definitely as you, because they're hearing those howls too. There are when you come back, they have to raise the gate, the portcullis, to let you in. And there's 3 of them on the wall now. There's 1 on the gate, and then 2 that are kind of patrolling the inner part of the wall, keeping an eye out, but they still just have those sticks.
Is there somebody that looks like they're in charge of them?
Anithrin is forthcoming and tells you that Dermond is the not the captain, but kind of like the lead of the watch.
Okay. I would like to try to find them if I can.
After a few minutes, you're told he's actually inside the temple, taking an evening meal.
Okay. Well, sounds like a good time for beer for me.
I'm gonna turn the bag of holding to Pongo. I'm keeping my stick.
Anithrin does tell you that if you are willing to trade your, like, it's up to you. If you're willing to trade your stick to the gnomes, they would probably give you quite a bit for it because it's also kind of a magical artifact. But you do with it as you will do with it. Are you going to talk to Dermot when you arrive?
Yes. I will probably like sit down next to him, maybe like slide him over some ale or what have you, and also the necklace with the tooth on it, and just be kind of like, there seems to be some goblin activity in the forest nearby. They were all wearing the same symbol. I don't know if you guys have had a problem with these guys or not, but I didn't recognize their band.
He picks it up. He's like, I think it's the Stone Tooth Clan. This is a little far south for them to come, but we are towards the edges of what they consider their territory. That's troubling. They are pretty violent. They are definitely willing to attack settlements. So if this is who we're up against, I might need to enlist a few more levies and watching the walls for a few nights.
Oh, Anithrin, you did get a sword, didn't you, for some of the watch people?
And she collected all
the weapons,
3 swords and 2 bows, and she does distribute them to the captain. It's whatever.
Militia leader.
Yeah. So out of all of the militia, he is the one with a weapon. He's got a mace. So he says, thank you very much. I will distribute these to the ones who I think are going to be the most effective with them, and hopefully it'll help us survive the whatever is about to come.
All right, so I feel like I either like misunderstood something. So is Anithrin the battle cleric that I first met?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
the
I
paladin.
like. Okay.
No, she's a cleric.
I'm gonna ask her since it seems like she's known the town a little bit better. I was like, do you know anybody who might deal in magical items here that might know of them? Like about how to like read them?
I am the only magic user in town until Danny showed up.
But you don't deal with arcane.
Right. If anything, if Danny doesn't know, then I certainly wouldn't.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm just gonna like whenever I get settled in, I'm probably going to just like go over the pelt I found and just kind of, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to figure out much about it, but I'm gonna like just try to look at it and see if I understand anything about it.
It does appear to be mostly just decorative. And there's definitely spells at work, but it appears the spells are just there to kind of keep the lights on in the eyes and to keep the integrity of the piece together.
Okay.
Anithrin would tell you that she thinks that if you remove the eyes, the magic will be gone because that's what's powering the enchantment is the runes in the eyes. And if you look really close, you can see that there is some like inscription in the stones that means nothing to you.
Okay. No, yeah, I just wanted to know. I mean, I'm gonna keep it with me because I feel like it's something special.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
feel like it's a sign.
All right. So we're hitting about 9 o'clock our time. Probably wrap up here because there's nothing else that we can really do. Is there anything you want to do around town before we end the session?
I don't have anything to do besides, yeah.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep. Go ahead and mute again, please. So then we'll pick back up next week, probably doing a Defense of the Town mission, which is always fun. So hopefully we'll have a bigger group of players so that I can do like an actual battle map. And we can do some cool tactics and shit. So thank you, Arcadia, for joining us. We'd love to have you back. Everyone who joined us tonight, thank you very much. We actually had a lot better viewership than I was expecting. So we're on the comeback trail. We'll see you all next week.